I do. Yes, I do. So here we are with the dark chocolate going in. Now I'm halving this recipe because this recipe actually will make 4 bars. Although I do have lots of other molds, I'm just going to be working with these 2 tonight. So I'm halving the chocolate, although I did make a little bit more of the filling. So I'm going to put more filling in.
Denise, I'm just going to interrupt for a second because I had a
Yes.
little bit of an issue with recording. So I missed your intro of saying that you are making the Dubai chocolate.
I
So,
am. I'll just back up and show again then. I'm
sorry,
making
thank
this
you.
amazing Dubai chocolate. It costs about $20 or $25 to buy a bar about that size, and we can make it for half price or even probably less than that, actually. So we're going to be doing some of the steps tonight, and I've pre-done a step with the pistachio cream. So that one is already done. I'm going straight into the milling of the chocolate, and then we're going to attempt to temper it without an actual a temperature gauge, which I'm actually going to get one for Christmas because I'm really intrigued now about how to do this. But we're going to give it a try. So I've got half this amount of chocolate going in, and then we're going to mill for 10 seconds, which means we'll be able to melt it nice and fast. There we go. Done. It never ceases to amaze me how you can turn big blocks of chocolates into a fine powder in only 10 seconds. Absolutely fantastic. All righty. Now, this is saying to remove 180 grams of this milk chocolate and set aside. And this is an important part of doing a manual tempering process. So from here, I'm actually going to pull my control center down, activate my scales, and into this bowl here, I'm going to put the 180. Oh, sorry, the 90 because I'm halving. Thank you. 90 grams of this milk chocolate into here. And what this does later is it actually assists us in lowering the temperature of the chocolate after we've raised the temperature of the chocolate. Alrighty, so there's my 90 grams. I'm going to put that to the side. Pop this back on. And as we're now going to go into the melt, we want all of that chocolate down in the bottom of the bowl. There we go, get that all down there. And we're going to jump back into our recipe. Here we go. Alrighty, so I've removed that, and then we're going to melt. Now this says for 60 to 60 degrees, but I'm going to set this to 50 degrees because my research on the type of chocolate that I'm using says that it needs to come to that temperature to be properly tempered. So I'm going to pop the lid back on and set this to play. I'm actually going to reduce this down 1 minute as well because I've halved the recipe. All righty. Now, while that's happening, we're going to be working with our pastry. So over here, I've got some melted butter and the katifi pastry. Now, this pastry is really amazing and unique. It's kind of like angel hair, and it's really stretchy and really quite, it doesn't just break really easily. It's very strong, which means that when it's fried up or toasted in the oven, it gets really, really crispy, and then it holds its crispness even when you put it with that incredible cream, that pistachio cream. So we're going to be doing 160 grams of this. It comes sort of all looped around like this, and the recommendation is to sort of pull it apart a little bit, get it into smaller bits, which make it a bit easier to work with, and then to pop it into the fry pan or into the oven. But whichever way you do it, you need to attend to it and make sure that it doesn't burn, basically, moving it around in the heat. Alrighty, so I'm going to pop all of this in. It's starting to sizzle a little bit. I've got 60 grams of butter, melted butter in this pan. And that is just actually really sizzling away quite nicely. There we go. And basically what you want to do is kind of just move it around and make sure that none of it is burning. And this can happen anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. So Dubai chocolate, in essence, is something that you can't rush, but something that is amazing as a result at the end. And this pastry, some people call this a sort of a substitute for very finely shredded phyllo. And though you could use phyllo, it's actually not at all the same. This pastry is extruded. It's extruded. It's sort of spun like this, whereas phyllo is made flat and then cut up. So the properties of the pastries are incredibly different, but you can substitute one for the other. Add a pinch if you couldn't find one. Now, where do you get this pastry? I was thinking the same thing. If you look this up online, there are some companies that specifically make this kind of specialty product, and they have websites. And this product that I'm using today, this one, here we go, Kapipi pastry, is from a company called Antonio, and I found this at Europa supermarket on Warragul Road in Moorabbin there. There we go, there's my chocolate. Oh, Liza, can you see in here? This is going kind of nice and golden. There's some little golden bits in here. I'm just going to turn this over and move this around a little bit so it gets a bit of an even colour. Alrighty. Now, while that's doing that, I'm going to turn the heat down on this because I'm just going to walk away for a second and come back over to the chocolate. So this chocolate is, let's see, we're going to go to manual. It's at 50 degrees. Now there's some here on the blades, and I want to make sure that I get that off. Every little bit of this chocolate has to be properly melted for the temper to work correctly. So what is actually happening is when you buy chocolate in a block, it is already tempered, meaning that the cocoa butter crystals are arranged in such a way molecularly that the chocolate doesn't melt in your hands, and that it is crisp when it is broken, and it has various other properties. So the idea when you work with chocolate is to melt it, to put it in whatever form you like, but then to get the temper back. So you have those properties back in the chocolate. When we melt it, all those cocoa butter crystals break apart and we lose the temper, we lose the shine, we lose the snap. So we're trying to get that back. So we basically need all of this chocolate to be behaving the same way. So I've given that a little bit of a stir. It's going to go back on for, I'm just going to jump out of this. I've given it that stir and scrape, and now we're going back in for another 2 minutes. So while that's happening, and I finished off with this, oh, look at the beautiful goldens I'm getting on this pastry. So I'm going to go on and keep moving this around and melting all of this, and then I need to let it cool. So do you guys want to go to someone else for a few minutes while I carry on with these steps?
Sounds good. I'll get cracking with my pav.
Okay, amazing. See you soon.
Thanks, Dee. Sorry, I had some tech issues with recording at the start, but we've got everything. So, but at the start, I was just introducing myself. I'm Michelle Moss from Bentley East. That was Denise in Mentone, and also joined by Mandy and Diana this evening. We've all got some exciting Christmas things planned, and we're all doing them in our trusty TM7s. So, for those of you who don't have a TM7 yet, please, if you want to know more about it, if you want to host a demo, please reach out to your consultant, because we love cooking around the bench with you, because no doubt at the end of tonight you're going to wish you were in one of our kitchens to eat the spoils that are going to come from tonight's demo. So that's the beauty of having an in-home demo. But if you do want to have a TM7 on your bench, the other way to get one is to join the team and earn one. So that has actually been the most popular way to get a TM7 on your bench since it was launched only a few short months ago. Alrighty, so my dish for this evening is pavlova. So the pavlova is I think, quite an honor to make every Christmas. And when I was a little girl, which was a long time ago, my nonna used to make the pav every year. And she's been gone for quite a few years now. And that baton was handed over to me. So I feel it is actually quite an honor to take that baton on. And I hope I do her justice here. I just need Santa to cover their mess behind because I'm looking at the camera and looking at the mess behind. All right. So what I'm going to do is bring the camera actually into the screen just so you can see how that looks on a TM7 and then just give you a couple of other little tips. So here, if I go back actually, you'll see this is my home screen and this is what I've got planned to cook today. So I can go into that from there. And you can see along the bottom here, it says overview, ingredients, preparation, tips, and more. So if you do want to get your ingredients ready, you can just tap the ingredients and it'll take you through to show you those. You'll see that this is also a scaled recipe. So it gives you the option of a serve for 6 or a serve for 10. So I'm going to leave it at the big one for today. And when you're ready to start cooking, we just press start cooking. Now, a couple of tips in relation to doing a pav is you do need to have a very clean, dry bowl. So a lot of people talk about doing a vinegar clean. My bowl was run through the dishwasher before, so I find that that's good too, because the blade, everything, the butterfly, I put it all through the dishwasher. Now, the other tip is when you are separating out your eggs and your yolks, I like to have 3 glasses handy because sometimes you have a fail and you don't want it to be that you've added all those white, and I didn't stage this, I actually did have a fail. So my big tip is that I will have, and I've left 1 egg to go, is that I'll have a glass that I crack it into. I've got my trusty little Tupperware egg separator. You can use a shell, you can do it however you like. And then once it's a successful separation, I can then transfer my yolk to my yolk cup and my white to my whites cup. And that way, if you do them separately, I know my sister-in-law many years ago said to me, I've only ever added all the eggs to a thing once and not put it separately in a glass because it was the 8th egg in a recipe that it was actually a bad egg and she had to throw the whole thing out. So that's sort of a tip for anyone when you're working with eggs. And it does say to have them at room temperature as well. So preheat the oven to 150 is what it's asking me to do. Line a tray. I haven't done that yet, but I'll do that in a few minutes. And I'm actually just going to use a pizza tray and put some baking paper on it, which you'll see when I actually pour it out. All right, so first step. So what we've got here is the sugar, and what you'll notice, and I'll bring you down so you can actually see that, is that on the TM7 we have what's called the digital twin. So, and now it's asking me to place 320 grams of sugar in, and you'll notice that as I pop that in, the bowl will fill up here. And it's counting up in 1 gram increments. So anybody with an older Thermomix, you might find it counts up in 5 gram increments. The 1 gram with the TM6 and the TM7 have made it really easy to be very precise with your cooking. Now, while I was talking then, it ticked that off because I had the measurements correct. So I'm just going to pop that lid back on. And a bit like Denise with her milling her chocolate, I am about to mill the sugar. So 20 seconds. And what you'll notice is that with the TM7, put the lid on straight, that now it's activated that play button. So one of the safety features is I can't turn it on if that lid's not properly on for this step.
And Mish, while it's milling, could you pop back over to me for 30 seconds? Oh, she's already milling. Probably can't hear. Am I mute?
I'm sorry, Denise. I didn't hear what you asked me.
No, that's okay. I was going to use up your 20 seconds while it was milling.
Oh, sorry. Someone else could have done that. Someone could have flicked you over. I'm so sorry.
No problem at all.
But if you've got something, you can come. I'll come back to you.
Okay. Do you want to just give me a minute?
Yep.
Right. Okay. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that chocolate has melted at 50 degrees and now it's going to go through the temperature lowering process. So it's asking in the next step to add back in the reserved milled chocolate, which is here. And this is called seed chocolate. And it can either be milled like this, it can be pieces of chocolate, or it can be little chocolate buds. But this is the chocolate that lowers the temperature of the heated chocolate. So we're going to pop this back in. There we go. And I might just make sure that I get it off the blades. Just going to flick that off the blades. There we go. And then that's going to go back on for 2 minutes. Let's see, future step. I've done this bit, and now 2 minutes of melting and lowering the temperature. Now you'll notice here that there's no temperature set, and if I touch the little panel there, it will open up this manual screen where I can see the current temperature of what is in the bowl. So that has already lowered that chocolate while I was waiting to 40 degrees from 50. I need to get it down to, well, this recipe says 37, but technically it needs to be down to about 31 or 32. So I'm going to let this mix, then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it in another bowl, and I'm going to keep stirring it until it starts to feel cool to my touch. So my body temperature is 36. This I want down at 31 or 32. And when I think it's there, I'll come back, and what I'm going to do is coat a spoon with the chocolate. And if that sets within 3 minutes or less, probably a lot less, then it's tempered. So I've got it to the right temperature. Alrighty, so I'm going to go away and do all of this and hand you back to Michelle.
Actually, I'll tell you what, we're going to go over to Diana now
Oh,
because
okay.
she's got
Good
a
day.
20-minute cook and I don't.
Good
So
day.
thanks, Dee. Hi,
Hi,
Diana.
everyone. Hello, everyone. Diana and I am located in McKinnon, and I am making a caramelized red onion chutney. I was trying to decide what to make, and there are just so many great recipes to make with your Thermomix, whether they're for Christmas or a gift that you can make for someone else. And this is something that absolutely is delicious and can be enjoyed around Christmas time, but also a nice treat to make for somebody any time of the year. So it's really, really easy and simple and quite cheap to make as well. So we're just going to press start here. And this is really delicious in burgers with your Christmas ham. Now I'm just taking the lid off there, and I love that the little digital twin does give me a reminder of what to do. So I'm just going to add in 25 grams of olive oil. And as you can see, the scales go up in 1 gram increments, which is awesome. There we go. And we're going to add half a kilo, so 500 grams of red onions. And I'll just show you, I've just basically cut them into like little half moons. Not too thin, not too thick. Now, if you've got the Thermomix cutter, you can definitely use that as well. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but that would make your life so much easier because there was a lot of crying going on with all of this. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit over, but that's okay. Just click next there. So this is really, really quick and easy. Sliced onions, olive oil, and we're just going to press play. And this is actually going to brown for about 20 minutes. And then we just add a few more ingredients, cook it a little bit more, and then this is pretty much done. So if you are stuck for a quick little Christmas gift to give your neighbors, or if you're making a hamper, definitely add this to it because it will keep in the fridge for about a month. And it's really delicious. So I promise to be really quick. Do we go back to you, Michelle,
Thanks.
with your pavlova?
Thanks, Diana. Denise, you or back to me? Me, I think. Me.
Oh, can I just show you? I just found a piece of onion. And because we've got the magnetic lid, it's so great that you can actually just lift this lid off just like that, not having to wait for, arms unlocking or anything. Throw that in and just lid back on, and it continues cooking. This is a really, really cool feature with the TM7. I don't feel like we talk about it enough. So I just wanted to share that. And I can have 5 more seconds as well, Michelle, because we all know I'm a talker. But another tip that I made a pavlova on the weekend and I had, that if you are trying to separate your egg whites, what you can actually do is use the lid here, pop it on the cup and crack your egg on this outer part here, and the egg white will fall through and the egg yolk will stay on top. So then you can tip that out. So if you don't have a fancy egg separator like Michelle, you can use your TM7 lid for that.
Great tip. I love it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All righty. Here we are. Hello, back to me. All right, so I've milled the sugar, and what it now asks me to do is transfer half of the sugar to another bowl. So I know I put in 320. So to get half, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my bowl here. So this is a great tip because you can use the scales not just when you're doing a Thermomix recipe. And at the very top there, I've got the cook center. And if I tap the cook center, it shows me what my current recipe is, but it also gives me quick access to a timer, the scales, and the pre-clean. So I'm going to tap on my scales, and it means that it's going to come up teared to 0, and I can now transfer half of this sugar to the bowl, knowing that, as I said, I put 320 in before, and just want to put about 160 in there. There you go. And I set that aside for when I need it. And then I can tap that again and go back into my recipe where I'm up to. So we're going to go next. Insert the butterfly whisk. I had that before. Where have I put it? Oh, there we go. Found it. So our amazing butterfly whisk. And again, so the sugar is in there, but I'm just popping that on top of the little, the knobby bit of the blade. And next again, and now we're popping our egg whites in. So it says approximately 250 grams, which is about 8 eggs. So let's see what mine weighed. Oh, 239, my 8 eggs. So there you go. Mine were 60. So that's okay. And I'm going to tick that off, and then a little pinch of cream of tartar. So here's my cream of tartar, and do have a funny little, you buy things that are a bit quirky, but I really love this. I got this little set of spoons. That's a pinch, a dash, a tad, a drop, and a smidge. So this one's the pinch. But of course you could just put your fingers in and pinch it as well. Alrighty, in that goes. Alrighty, and on we go with the lid. And now I'm 5 minutes at 37 degrees at speed 3.5. So Denise, are you ready for us to come back to you, or should we go to Mandy?
You can go to Mandy, actually.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Mandy. Over to you, my friend.
Thank you. I have unmuted myself, which is awesome. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope you're inspired by some of the things that we're doing today. Now, I think a few people in our team thought, my goodness, what on earth is she making? Because it's sort of like the poor cousin of everything else for some people, all right? Because we've got a pav, we've got the Dubai chocolate, and we've got the beautiful chutney, and I'm making something with Brussels sprouts. And I know a lot of people don't like Brussels sprouts. We love Brussels sprouts. And this is actually going to be used as a salad. So what I'm in the recipe, all the Brussels sprouts are put in at the end of the recipe to be chopped up. But what I wanted to show you at the moment, we actually have our wonderful TM7 Thermomix cutter as a bundle for the TM7 for $50. It's awesome. I just love it. I'm going to, just to show you how to use it, I'm doing half of my Brussels sprouts using this, and then the rest I will put in at the end. All right. So if you haven't got a cutter, this is actually slightly different. The little spindle, oh, hang on, get to the right spot, it sits on really well on the blades, but literally, down a bit, it goes onto my blades like that and sits on really firmly. Okay. Then popping that back on the TM7, and I've got my catching basket. And this is actually very specific. It does need to go this way around because this hole needs to be at the front. So I'm sitting that on there. Okay. And then the next bit you have this blade. Now this blade, one side, you can probably just see that, is for slicing. We've got thin and we've got thick. And the other side is grating, thin and thick. So poke bowls, awesome for carrot and beetroot. And this is awesome for, again, poke bowls, particularly on days like today. Really thin sliced cucumber and radishes and things like that. Also great for bakes. Now, I want to slice these sprouts. This is going to go uppermost in my lid here. Then I'm going to pop the lid on top. So it's just sitting up like that. I'm going to take the pusher out, and I am going to actually go in here, back to here. I'm going to go into my modes, and I'm going to get slicing up. All right, and I've got the choice of both. So I think we might go thin. So all I've got to do now is just drop these down into that feeder. All right, so that's not very exciting to look at. So I'm just dropping them down there. Whoops, that's as many as I can fit at the moment. And I'm just going to press the play.
We do have fun with Mandy because we said Christmas inspiration and Mandy said broccoli salad, Brussels sprout salad, and we all laughed and said Brussels sprouts aren't really synonymous with Christmas, but they definitely are in the UK. And actually this salad it's green and red and delicious. So and we can't just live on sweets. So I think it's a good balance to all the nice things.
Yes, I think it's very healthy. I've got a Brussels sprout stuck here. So I've never done it with Brussels sprouts before. So it was a bit of a first attempt.
Experiment?
So, yes, an experiment. That's the one. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to put them in one at a time. Maybe that would be better.
Yeah.
So off we go. Let's get that on, lid in place.
Well, and thinking about English things, one of the things I enjoyed in England was a ploughman's lunch. And that chutney that Diana's making is exactly the sort of thing that you would have with a ploughman's lunch, which is kind of, if you think about your Christmas ham and your leftover meats and things, a slice of ham and a big dollop of that chutney with some cheese and a few little vegetables and things would be very nice. Oh, yum, look at that.
Yeah, so it works much better one at a time rather than trying to jam too many in.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're using it with other vegetables, you just need to make sure that you can put them down through this hole here.
Oh, it's really like a slaw, isn't it, Mandy?
It is a bit like a saw. Don't get your fingers in there.
No, slaw.
A whaty?
A slaw.
A slaw. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, saw. Okay. Now, the most important thing when you've been finishing, when you haven't cut your fingers off with the saw, is you need to make sure you take the drive shaft out. Okay. Very easy to leave that in, but remember, always take that out. So I'm going back out of there and I'm just going to get to my recipe, which is in my week. And again, like the recipe that Michelle's using, this actually has, I can't get to it, fingers. You can scale this one too. And I'm doing it for 4 because there's only 2 of us here. So I'm going to put my bacon cubes in. So I've just got, it's actually just slices of bacon, but you can buy cubes, I think. Just on bacon, have a look when you're buying bacon. Do you know what? There is hardly any Australian pork in our bacon. The stuff I bought had 30%. You used to be able to buy gold bacon, and that had 80%. But that's gone down to like 10%. I don't know what happens to all the poor little pigs in Australia, but they don't end up as bacon here. All right. Now I'm going to add my olive oil.
There's probably an irony in that we export it and then we have to import it because we don't have any left.
Probably, but it's incredible. Anyway, you probably never looked, but we look at all the ingredients. So
I love that you've got your olive oil in a wine bottle, Mandy.
Yeah, well, that's left over from when we bought that. It's not the same oil, but when we bought that bulk oil,
yeah,
we decanted it.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, 4 minutes 40, 120, and we can head off to somebody else.
Lovely. All right, Denise, do you want us to come to you? Because otherwise I can do my next step.
Yeah, you can do your next step. I am just mixing the chocolate in an attempt to get it down to 37 degrees with some seed chocolate in there. So I'm just continually doing that.
Doing that same step. All righty, back to me because my first 5 minutes is done. So this is what we have thus far. Looking pretty good, I reckon. Let's see what my recipe says to do next. All righty, so I've done my 5 minutes. So now I need to add the reserved sugar. So what I'm going to do is sort of add it through into the middle, because previously, if you've had a team 6, the sugar gets added gently through the hole in the lid. So this has actually changed because we don't have a full hole in the lid anymore. We just have our vent. So I'm going to show you in a minute what I've done, because I showed you that. So what I've done is I've actually put it in the middle around the butterfly, so it'll actually whip it beautifully through the rest of those egg whites. All righty. So next, and now it's 10 minutes at the 37 degrees on speed 3.5. And I'll just make sure there's no sort of air pockets or anything in there. Yep, no, that's pretty good. And you can see that's going to be yummy. My favorite thing about making a hab is licking the butterfly whisk at the end, but don't worry, I'm not going to do that in front of you. Well, I might. Let's see. All right, play 10 minutes on that. All righty, should we come to you, Denise, or I could do cookie dough?
Yes, you can come to me. Eliza's just going to reverse the camera for me.
Beautiful.
Okay.
We did just for all those watching, we did do a sort of rough run sheet, but when you're working with chocolate and egg whites, there are things that are a little bit more specific. So Brussels sprouts and onions are a bit more robust, but the chocolate is a bit more sensitive. So
it's a bit more sensitive. Oh, Mish, can you spotlight the other me, please?
Oh, apologies. Right. Oh, yeah, there's 2 U's. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
I should turn the camera off on the other one so it's not confusing.
There we go.
Okay, fantastic. So here is the chocolate, and it's actually looking really glossy. So I think maybe I have actually got this to where it needs to be. Now, there are still some lumps of the seed chocolate in here. I actually chopped up some other chocolate to help lower the temperature properly to pieces about this big. So if these help lower the temperature, but if when you get to the correct temperature that you're looking for, if you still have some of those little bits of seed chocolate in there, that's okay. You can just remove them. They've done their job of lowering the temperature of the chocolate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this out and see whether it actually is tempered by putting the back of a spoon in here, letting this just drip off a little bit. Get a thin coating, and I'm just going to let this sit. I'm going to let I'll put it over here on this floor. So I'm just going to let that sit, and in 1-2 minutes, or the maximum of 3, if that has actually hardened nicely, then my chocolate is in temper, what they call in temper, and it means that I can then pour this out. I'll take out the little pieces that are left, and then I'll pour it out into the mold. So I'm going to continue doing this. I'm going to wait for this to see if it's tempered, and I'll shout when I'm ready to pour it into the mold.
Beautiful. And hey, I love that you're using that mixing bowl. So that's the set of 3 from the mix shop, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I love these. And you'll see that I've got the other one here as well that I'm about to use later when I put the pastry together with the pistachio cream. Yeah, they're amazing because they don't move around on the counter. So, they don't spin around. They're brilliant, and they stack.
And you've got that great handle to grip it as well.
Yeah, and they've also got lids and a pouring lip. I mean, they're the best bowl ever. I got rid of every other bowl I have and just have this one set now.
That's awesome.
All righty. I'll see you back in a couple of minutes.
Lovely. Now, Mandy, do you want us to come to you?
You can. I'm 5 seconds from my bacon finishing, so it's good timing if that works for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, that's
cool.
perfect. I've still got 6.5 minutes of egg whipping going on here.
Oh, awesome. So what I've got to do next, so let's get down here. First zoom in this kitchen. So I've got to, now next, it says transfer the bacon into the simmering basket over a bowl to, I think it's just draining out the fat so that you can use the fat for something else. Probably be pretty good for spuds and things, I would imagine, for Christmas. So I'm just tipping that in there. Sorry, it's really hard to manage everything. But I'm literally popping it into my simmering basket here, and it looks really. There we go. Can't leave any behind. I was actually amazed. I was prepping this bacon before, and the dog didn't arrive to beg for any, which is a big change. Anyway, all right. So I've done that. Catch the bacon. It says place the reserved bacon into a large bowl and place the bowl onto the mixing bowl lid. All right. Now I do know. Let's get rid of that reaction thing here. I have actually pre-weighed the next thing. So my Brussels sprouts that I've done already, I have put in here. And all I'm going to do now is add a couple of things to this salad bowl. But it's not going to end up in the salad bowl. But I'm going to add that bacon. Okay, it's drained. Obviously, if you're vegetarian, Mel, you don't have to have bacon in here. You know, it could be nice actually with feta, I reckon too. So I've got that. Then it's asking me to put in pumpkin seeds and cranberries. So you can see how beautifully red and green it's going to be. That was next there. So I've added those in, the cranberries and the pumpkin seeds. And then it says set the bowl aside. All right, so now the next step is the dressing. Can't work out which way, that's better. All right, so I've got 1 garlic clove and I've got a little bit of lemon zest, so that's going straight in. Okay. So I've got the garlic in, I've got the lemon zest in. Next, I'm going to chop it, so I'm popping my lid on. Here we go. Sometimes I find with the bowl's hot, sometimes it does. I think we'll have to do another chop. I think done a bad job at all actually. I've still got some caramelization on the bottom of there, but there's the garlic's chopped up there. I'm pretty sure it gets me to do it again. So just scrape down the sides. Probably doesn't actually need it, but you know, we'll do it. Oh, smells so good. All right, so I'm doing that again. Oh, dogs come out for garlic, not bacon. All right, scrape down the sides again. Oh, smells amazing. Then next, I put all these things together apart from the olive oil. So in here, I've got freshly squeezed lemon juice. I've got the sherry vinegar. I've got honey. I haven't got the olive oil yet. So I can click off these. I've done that. I've done that. I've done that. I actually pour in the oil, 45 grams.
I do love that with the Team 7, all the ingredients that are in the same step are on the same page.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You
isn't
know,
it?
with the 5 or the 6, it'd be add the olive oil next, add the lemon juice next, add the thing next. It was just like everything that's in the dressing is there, ready to go.
So the Dijon's in there. Everything else is going in here. Okay. So that's in, that's in, that's in, that's in next. So I'm going to mix that.
Mandy, while you're mixing that, could I have a moment?
You could have a moment.
Oh, thank you. Someone can come back to my camera. Spotlight back. Mish is looking for it. There we go. Terrific. Mish, okay, right. So this chocolate is ready to go. And it has set, virtually set. So it's probably close to temper. I'm not going to redo it, but we're going to go with the mold. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put half of this chocolate into each of these molds and coat the bottom and the sides. And it's more than what this needs. So we're going to put it all in, and then we're basically going to take some out again. There we go. So there is most of it in. So decadent working with this much chocolate. It's really quite Fantastic. So you can see this chocolate is really quite thick. I know that these molds are also brown, so it's a little bit hard to see, but I'm going to paint up the sides of the mold here all around. And if you've worked a little bit faster, your chocolate will be runnier than this. But because we're sharing the screen here tonight, it's gone a little bit thicker, which is very decadent and yummy, but it does allow me to do this sort of painting. So then from this point, what you do is turn it upside down onto a tray that's over a baking tray. And you give it, I'm just going to whack this, so apologies for the noise. We whack it, and as much of that chocolate as possible, we're going to get it to run out of here. And you can see it's running out of the mold. And then it's just going to leave a beautiful coating. And then the rest of that chocolate, I'm going to scrape it out, collect it, and then we're going to pour that back over the mold once we put the pastry and the combined pistachio cream in there. So that's my bit for now, and I'll see you again in a little bit.
That's awesome, Denise. And then when you see the amount of work involved, sometimes you go, oh, well, that's probably why they charge so much.
Exactly.
But it's so much fun that to do that, to do it yourself and then save that money. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's very fun. Very fun. All righty, see you in a bit.
All righty.
Can we jump to me, Michelle? I've just got 2 seconds.
No, I'm going to override you because I've got 2 seconds as well, and then come to you.
No worries.
Oh no, I gave it to you anyway. All right, go on. You're there.
Okay, all right. So my onions have been caramelized, all nice and beautiful and golden. And so now I just need to add the rest of the ingredients like so. I'll be super quick. So 200 grams of light brown sugar. Did you know you can make your own brown sugar using your Thermomix? So very easy to do, just raw sugar and either treacle or molasses. Now we're going to add red wine vinegar and 200 grams here. So you're going to get that really nice balance of sweet and sour, and we want a little bit of a kick. So I've got half of a fresh chili sliced going in there. Like you can leave it out if you like, but this will give that extra depth of flavour. And a teaspoon of sea salt. You can tick it all off or even just press next. Popping the lid on there, and there we go. 25 minutes of cooking. So literally, this is only 2 minutes of work and it all just cooks by itself. So you can take the dog for a walk, do an activity, play with your kids, whatever, have a bath. This is all cooking in the background. And something that I do want to point out, because I just delivered a Thermomix to a TM7 to somebody who had a TM31, they could not believe how quiet this is. Number one, they've never heard the sound of a sizzle, because the temperature in the TM31 does not get up to 160 degrees, doesn't even touch it. And because of the insulated bowl, it's not hot to touch, so it's really safe if you've got little ones around, but it is super, super quiet. She actually said the first time she used it, she thought there was something wrong with it, but this is what we love about the TM7. Off to you, Michelle. Hopefully that was quick.
True. How often, no, that was pretty good for you. Yep. How often do I still go, oh, I forgot to turn it on? Oh no, it's cooking. It's just so quiet. Yeah, incredible. Okay, so check that out.
That's beautiful.
Okay, I'm going to do the test. You know what they say the test is, if it's worked or not? Okay, I did get dripped on, but that was just a bit of condensation. Egg white's still there. Phew! That could have gone really badly.
It looks incredible.
It would have been funny though, wouldn't it? Come on, tell me the truth. How many of you went, oh, I hope that August falls on her head?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I would have been like licking my face like a dog. Anyway, that's disgusting. Right, so the next step is, a teaspoon of white vinegar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I've got them both together here, and I'm just going to pour them in. And in fact, what I did learn today is that this mixture probably has created a bit of a bubble. So I'm just like, it's when I say bubble, sort of an air pocket. So yeah, did you see that? I don't know if I had the camera, but it just dropped slightly. So I've just done that because I want to make sure that it actually does go around the blades. So because otherwise, if there's an air bubble underneath, the blades will actually just rotate that around, but won't actually mix it. And then the other ingredient is a bit of corn flour and a couple of pinches of salt. And I've just got them both there together. And I'm going to put them in that little kind of pocket that I've just created. So in that goes. So we've seen lots of different sort of feedback around having the TM7, and one of the things was that it didn't mix it through if you had it all just sprinkled on the top. But I think for me, that air pocket, and you may notice that even if you're making stock paste and you chop all your veggies, and you'll kind of look at it and it looks quite full, and then you give it a stir and it goes and it just falls to the bottom. So once it's sort of chopped everything, it just sort of mixes it to the bottom there. So this is just a 20-second mix. And I said before about a tin. So I've actually just got a bit of a nasty old pizza tray actually, lined with baking paper. Now I have been known to do my pabs in a rectangular shape if I've got a lot of people at Christmas, because I actually just find it easier to serve, in which case I just get a standard oven tray and just spread it out into a square. But the recipes do always say to pop it in a disc-like shape on the tray. So now it always says to remove the butterfly whisk first, but I must admit I tend to get some of this out first, because otherwise I would probably eat it all. Hang on, I'm just going to tilt that down a little bit. Just want to be nice and gentle with it because I don't want to knock all the air out.
Must be firm. You didn't drop it all over your computer when you were pushing it down.
And again, we've done that before too, haven't we?
Yep.
Now I've got another spoon here that I do quite like this one. Just helps me get it all out. But the TM7 spatula is great because it's really, it's long, so it goes down the whole side of the bowl. Okay. Now I actually am going to take the what I normally do actually is leave the butterfly in, and then I'm actually just going to give it a little spin to spin the extra egg white off that butterfly. So to do that, I'm just going to go into the manual mode, which is down here. And I just want to go to speed 4. And I'm just going to listen to that for a few seconds. That's enough. Just enough to flick it off. And then if you have a look at that, it means I'm not going to be licking a lot less later, which is good. But, I think rather than focus on the sugar, let's focus on the egg whites, because, women my age are supposed to have a lot of protein, and I'm just going to focus on the protein in this as I'm licking that butterfly later. And now you can see I can just easily access all the rest of that beautiful meringue. Now with this, I had to put the oven on before, so preheat the oven at 150, but when you put it in, you actually just reduce it straight away to 120, cook it for 1:20 and leave it in the oven. So I tend to, whenever I make a pav, I always do it at night, and then I just put it in. I have got an oven that I can set an off timer, so I just do that. I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit. It's nice and shiny like your chocolate, Denise. There we go. I have been known when I've done them for kids' birthday, my daughter's birthday party, I put a little bit of pink food dye on it and swirl it around. But I reckon that's pretty much it. I'm trying to make it look pretty, which is silly because I'm going to cover that with cream and berries, aren't I? There we go.
Looks brilliant.
No, I'd normally lick that knife, but it's a really bad habit, so I'm not going to do it on camera. There we go. That's the beauty of these things, is that they're, there's nothing sort of, perfect about it. You just kind of throw it on the tray and smooth it out a bit, and everyone's happy to get a piece at the end. So that's going to go in the oven for an hour 20. So as I said, it's at 150 now, reduce it to 120, put it on a timer for 120, and then I'm just going to let it sit there all night. And in the morning, that pav will be ready to go. My other tip on the pav is that because it's so full of sugar, you can be making, I know Christmas is a week away, but you can be making that pav now and pop it in an airtight container and it'll be good to go. Don't dress it yet, of course. That'll be good to go on Christmas Day. So it's one of those things you can do well in advance. You don't have to be stressing yourself, the night before, or even, you can do it a couple of nights before or even a week before. All righty. I'm going to pop that in the oven. Denise, would you like us to come back to you? Mandy, have you finished yours?
No, I haven't finished my
Oh
second
my
lot of
goodness.
sprouts.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, Mandy.
Mandy.
Over to you.
That's all right. No problem. So I just wanted to show you, I could have put the sprouts in, but I just mixed up all those ingredients, a really nice thick dressing there. And the next stage is add, it says half the Brussels sprouts. Well, I did half the Brussels sprouts before, so I've got the other half here. I'm just going to pop all of those in. That's it, that's better. Done that. And then they are going to shred for 2 seconds on speed 5.
I'm just going to quietly lick my spatula while you guys are cooking, all right?
And I'll just show you what that looks like. So you could absolutely do your Brussels sprouts that way, all of them in 2 batches, and then they just get added into the big bowl that I've got with all the bits and pieces. So I will just do that. Unless Denise is ready and I can show you this one, it's all mixed up. No, I'm good to go. All right, okay. So just going to put all those in. Remembering that if you're tipping up a long way, you can always hold at the bottom part of your handle. Means your arm's working less. Okay, and always scraping out as much as possible in a clockwise direction so you don't chop up your spatula. I'll tell you what, this smells so good. All right, I'm just going to give that a bit of a mix, and I will actually put it in a little bowl and make it look pretty to show you. Actually, I'll do that now if no one's waiting. A nice bowl here. A spoon. Here you go. They've got these in the mix shop too. This is a spoon. So I'll use that to get this out. And the other thing that would actually be quite nice, I reckon, on this, looks really pretty, but is maybe a few nuts thrown in there as well. So I'll just show you what it looks like. It smells amazing. And, if it's a really hot day like today, which is not going to be on Christmas, is it? But still, around there, have it with your leftover ham, your leftover turkey, and yeah, I think we'll be lucky if there's any left by tomorrow night.
Enjoy. Thank you for sharing. You know what? It's like doing good chef, bad chef with you. You're the good chef and we're all the naughty chefs. For those who are, I'm just going to jump in for a second, just because I'm about to actually just throw my whole bowl in the dishwasher. For those who are not familiar with the Team 7, you just, to remove the bowl and the blade, you just slide the lever across, and then I can just lift that whole thing out. This is perfectly clean. Doesn't get dirty, doesn't need to go in the dishwasher. And then I can just remove my blade from here, and I'm just going to throw that whole thing in the dishwasher. So super easy. Super easy. All right, let's go to Denise. Denise, you or Diana?
I'm still cooking.
Oh.
I'm still cooking.
Oh, okay. Yep, I'm good though.
Let's go with you.
Come to me. Okay, am I? Okay, great. Oh, there's so much going on in this kitchen, I tell you. Okay, when you make this yourself, you want to have an hour and a half up your sleeve with nothing else going on. And it really helps to have 2 bowls, because I have been jumping in and out of the recipe at different points and coming back, and I've had to wash the bowl in between. So it's great to have 2 bowls. So what I'm up to now is that my chocolate is in the mold and it is solidifying. It's great if you can give it at least, 15 to 30 minutes. I've actually just chucked mine in the freezer to speed it up a little bit for today. So what I'm going to do is now combine the filling, which is actually the first step of the recipe. So I'm going backwards. So I have been down here in the bottom part of the recipe. So now I'm coming back up again. So here it's saying toast the katifi, which I have already done, set aside to cool, which it has done, and then I'm going to add it, and it's thinking that I've already got this in the bowl. So here is the filling, and I'm going to pop this back into the bowl. Oh my gosh, this filling is so good. I made this afternoon. And I have to tell you, I am doing the really decadent thing of I'm doubling the filling with just the normal amount of chocolate. So I'm going to have a much thicker and more decadent version of this the second time around than the first time around. It's going to have more filling in it. All right, so that's in there. And now adding back in all my cooled pastry. So this is some of it, and I spread it out across 2 bowls so it would cool nice and quickly. And it's so crispy and it's quite buttery because of the butter that it was fried with. And here is the rest of it going in. Nice and golden and crispy. Beautiful. All in. Done. Oh, I should make this my current step. Here we go. So great, I've done that. And now it's going to combine these for me. You could do this manually, but the Thermomix does such a great job because you want the pastry sort of all cut up into little bits as well. So I have seen someone combine it manually, and it's a little bit of a chore because you sort of have to crush that pastry as you go with, so you've got the crispy component with the smooth component. So it's just done that for us. Let's see what kind of a job it did. Okay, now because my pistachio cream was very, very room temperature, I just need to give it a little bit of a manual go around as well. And I might even let that go again. So started cooking is started cooking, and you can go backwards and forwards at will. So I'm actually just going to repeat this step here. Repeat. And play. I'll let that do its thing. There we go. And we can always jump in and have a look at exactly what is happening in the more detailed view. There we go. All right. Oh, now that's looking exactly like I want it. It looks like sort of a crispy textured paste. So that is now ready for to be basically go into the molds. So does anybody, which is going to be my last step where I fill up the mold and then put the chocolate over the top. Obviously I won't be able to unmold it for an hour until it sets. So that being the very last step, does anybody else want to go ahead? I can do that right at the end.
I think we're all good.
I've still got just under 10 minutes of cooking. Like, what an easy recipe. I feel like I've lucked out tonight. Literally 2 minutes of work, chucked it in, bang, bang, press play, chuck some stuff in, bang, bang, and then it cooks away. And that's just showing you how awesome the TM7 is with that set and forget cooking. And the other recipe that I actually wanted to make, which I saved into cookie dough, is the cranberry and rosemary chutney. Now, that is another ripper recipe to make. So forget your cranberry jam that you normally buy from the supermarket. This is actually so much better, a little bit fancier, and actually a lot cheaper if you make it yourself as well. So you'll find that recipe in Cookie Dough. It says less than 10 minutes of prep. So it's pretty much one of those recipes where you chuck everything, chops it all up, it cooks for a bit, you need to stir it and then cook it again. So really minimal effort, and it's a great little gift that you can give to people as well. So if you're one of those people who likes to make handmade gifts, and to be honest, I think we all love those kind of gifts as well. Something that we can actually eat and enjoy, has been made with love. Like, we don't need candles anymore. We don't need all stuff. We just want these little things, because I think that's what makes Christmas a little bit special. So this is just a little reminder that if you have left your Christmas shopping late, why not spend the next few days making little things with your Thermomix? And in Cookie Do, you can actually find lots of different collections on Christmas gifts. Maybe, Michelle, when you talk about in Cookie Do, you can maybe point out, because I know that there are a few little cookbooks, or even if you type in gifts, you can make lots of little gifts, whether it's like chutneys, jams, lemon curds, even something that's really, really nice is flavored salt. So even an easy rosemary salt won't cost you much at all, but it's absolutely delicious to put on your potatoes that you're baking, on some fish or chicken. So these are things that people will love, they'll use, and very easy to make with your Thermix. So as we know, everything is getting expensive, so why not make your own Christmas gifts and hampers for your friends? And you'll find so many recipes in Cookie Do. And look, you can make fancy chocolates like this Dubai chocolate, or, you know, something like a chutney and so forth. And lots of cookies and biscuits. We all love those.
Lots of cookies and biscuits.
Yeah, yeah.
I love,
And we
I
might
love
just
the
spotlight back to you, Denise, because that's looking incredible. Thank you,
yeah, well,
Diana, for sharing all of that.
yes, thanks, Diana, because I love doing homemade things. And with your Thermomix, it's literally like you're a pastry chef. You know, I mean, even if this chocolate is not tempered, it's not going to matter to someone who receives this. It's absolutely divine. I can tell you, because this is not properly tempered and it's absolutely divine, the one that I already made. It's so yummy. But you can see just how easily, you know, like that goes in, you just smooth it in, and then you go in with the rest of your melted chocolate. So I just gave this literally, it's supposed to go back into the Thermomix for remelting. I just threw it in the microwave for 10 seconds. Yes, I did. So then we're just going
Confessions
to...
from a Thermomix consultant.
If I had another bowl, I would be probably doing that. But and if I, you know, wasn't on camera, but being the fact that we are just a bit time pressed, I am doing whatever I can to get it
You know
done.
what? I think sometimes people stress. They think, oh, if I get a Thermix, I have to use it all the time and
Yes.
only Thermomix. But, you know, we still barbecue. We still do a bit of traditional cooking. We still do everything else. We still use our microwave. It's okay. It is that
Exactly.
all-in-one kitchen tool, but it's also a kitchen tool that complements our other cooking as well. So, you know,
Absolutely.
it is one of those long-time investments. You don't have to be using your Thermix 10 times a day to be getting the value. Even if you're just using it a couple of times a week, you're still going to get your money's worth, and it will still pay itself off, and you'll still keep saving that money every year.
Here we go. Just the perfect amount.
That looks
Perfect amount.
so good.
That looks
It's so good. Oh
incredible.
my gosh, I can't wait to post photos of this. And I
Did
really
you say you're in
recommend...
Mentone, Denise?
Yeah, mentone. No, not mentone. Morocco.
I'm getting in the car now.
Morocco. So guys, this is done. Now that is it. I am covered in chocolate. I have washed myself like 5 times off camera.
Lick your fingers.
I love it. Now, Denise, I don't
just
know
so
if you
much
mentioned this before, but where did you get the molds?
Oh, I bought them online. I bought them at Amazon. And you can get all different kinds, different sizes. This set is actually a set of 3. Can you imagine making 3 batches of this? I mean, when I bought them, I didn't know how much one recipe batch would make. But yeah, you can buy them in sets of 2. You can also buy them in molds that are not quite as thick as this. So this is a thicker mold, and I read a lot of reviews, and some people said, oh, I thought the mold would be thicker. And I think for this original recipe, you can see that that's only about, that's not quite even, but like a centimetre sort of in depth there, that recipe made. So that would have been okay in one of the shorter molds, but I decided to get the one that's a bit thicker, which is why I doubled the pistachio cream and pastry part of this. So this one is going to be twice as thick as this one, which I think is going to just make it even more decadent. So I can't wait for this one to come out and to actually try it. But yeah, these were very cheap. These were like $13 or something on Amazon.
So just Google Dubai chocolate molds and you'll get lots of options. Yeah.
There you go.
Because I had a quick look to see if we had them on the mix shop, and we don't. So that's why I thought but I saw them on eBay and Amazon and different things. So
something for next year, and I'm just going to I'm going to
love a live taste test.
Oh my God, really so good. I know you didn't see me make the pistachio cream, but it's got sugar, white chocolate, pistachios, and tahini in it. But there's also even an easier recipe where it's just pistachios and sweetened condensed milk. So there's another version of it as well. Oh my God, that is so good. I'm going to go for that. And can you see the texture of the pastry in there? It's really crispy. Oh my God, crispy and chewy. That is so good, guys. Well, I have worn the dinner tonight. I have worn this recipe 5 times. My kitchen's covered in chocolate.
I love it.
I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Yeah, how can you
You
not be
look it.
happy when you're covered in
So
chocolate?
happy.
Thank you so much for sharing all that with us, Denise, because I feel like if I know if people read that recipe, they might go, "Oh, that's a bit overwhelming," but actually seeing you do it and just go, that sort of just do each step.
Just
And
do each step.
follow
Yep.
the steps, and the whole language of time, temperature, and speed with the thermix remains the same. So it just simplifies something that could be far more complicated.
Indeed. All
Hey,
right. Well,
appreciate it. Enjoy it. Try not to eat it all tonight, hey? All righty. Mandy, have you got anything? Hang on, I'm going to add us all to the screen because I think we're
All I wanted to say really was that when you look up on Cookie Do, I mean, I've made a collection of Christmas veggies and salads. Sorry to go off the sweet stuff again. But there's some incredible recipes on there. There's honey parmesan parsnips, just green bean gremolata, a spiced roasted cauliflower salad, the steamed greens with lemon feta, which is awesome. There are so many different things. So have a good look through there if you want to do something a little bit different for your veggies.
I love it. I must admit, the 2 things I always take to Christmas lunch are the pav and then my version of our brown rice salad, which is brown rice and quinoa with steamed beetroot and steamed green beans. So again, you've got the red and the green.
Yeah, awesome.
And put some spinach in the bowl and some seeds and nuts, and then a really simple dressing, 3 parts olive oil, lemon juice, soy sauce, and a bit of salt and pepper. And it's a really lovely salad that you can have warm or cold. And you can, put some feta on it if you like, seeds, nuts, whatever you like. Sometimes I put some raw, like some spring onions or capsicum or something. So you've got the combination of the crunch and the softness. So I think it is nice to have some really good, wholesome kind of salads at Christmas lunch as well, because we can't just eat sugar all day.
Oh, yes, we can.
Sorry, there is a question in for Denise actually. Can you use another nut rather than pistachios? But I'm thinking that it's pistachios that make it, isn't it?
well, pistachios would definitely make it what is called Dubai chocolate.
Yeah.
So that's sort of known for that. But I can't imagine why you wouldn't be able to use another type of nut. If you grind the pistachios, they become a nut meal. I think you could probably use it with almonds, with walnuts. I think a hazelnut would be amazing actually in this. Imagine it being sort of
I'm thinking
sour version.
macadamia.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
That's probably quite rich, but
And that's not.
yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
But,
You could
but I
probably
think-
even make a caramel and combine it with the pastry. That
Yeah.
would be incredible as well. I might have to do that next time.
Yeah. Same time next week. Oh, hang on. This time next week is Christmas
Christmas.
Day.
Mm.
We will have eaten all of this by this time next week. We'll be lying on the couch rubbing our bellies.
Well, that is my chutney.
Oh, awesome.
Timing.
All ready to go. So I just wanted to point out that at the mix shop, we've got these new vacuum seal jars that you can pick up, and they're quite reasonably priced. And so if you are into pickling and things like that, they have these lids that pop on as well. And you do have a vacuum seal gadget that basically sucks all the air out. So it helps keep things a lot fresher as well. So I use these jars whenever I'm making my nut butters and things like that. But I thought this would actually be perfect for my chutney. I'm just going to pop that all in there. Now with this chutney, you need to just pop the lid on while it's actually still hot, and then afterwards chuck it in the fridge. And it should last for about a month. So that's a good thing about something like this. You don't have to feel like there's pressure to finish it all in a day or in a week. It will keep well in the fridge for about a month. But mind you, it would actually disappear well before then.
I was going to say,
Right,
yeah, if you
Denise.
bring
Yeah.
it out for the leftovers on Boxing Day, you'll probably find that it'll be gone in a couple of days because it's so lovely with the Christmas ham. That's really, I always make it every Christmas, and I just love it. Whether you're having a ham sandwich or whether you're just having, like we said before, a ploughman's. Is there anything else you want to add, or should we say good night to everybody? Because we have gone well over, but I feel like we've packed a lot in. That's perfect, Diana. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for bringing attention to those jars as well. So let us know in the chat what you might be making this Christmas. If you already have a TM7, please book in your learning demo because we really want you to all become expert users, and we all want to be standing around the bench cooking with you and eating food together because, we're all a bit lonely in our own kitchens tonight without being together. And we all wish we're at each other's house to eat the food. If you're not a TM7 owner yet, but you would like to get one on your bench, please reach out to us because we can't tell you how busy we are since the TM7 launched, and we really do need more consultants in our team to help service all the customers who are interested in buying them. So if you have one already, it costs nothing to join. You can come and give it a go. But if you don't have one, you can earn your Thermomix along the way. So we've got to say earn and learn. So if you'd like to know some more about that, please reach out to us as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Denise. Thank you so much for your skills tonight. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And everyone can think of me when I'm having pavlova for breakfast.
Breakfast. And you buy chocolate for breakfast.
Exactly. Lovely.
I think you've been quite restrained. I've got a feeling if it was Diana, that whole first top block would have gone by now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When I heard we were making Dubai chocolate, I've already had chocolate before this. And then I'm very tempted to just have a little bit more because watching you just spread that over, I was just sitting here salivating, thinking, oh, yum, yum.
There's something so decadent about eating from such a large block because normally when you eat chocolate, you break off a piece,
Break a
right?
little
And you
piece
eat
off.
it. But to eat from such a huge block, it really is quite. I feel like that woman on that viral, TikTok video, where she was like up close like this.
But like, what a great activity to do in the school holidays with the kids as well. Like, this is,
So good.
you know what? When we spend time in the kitchen, that's what Christmas feels like. It's just all that preparation, the little, kids eating the raw dough when you're not looking. Like, they're the wonderful memories that we make and that's what I love about the thermo. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And this time of year.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
And
Christmas,
a Happy
everybody.
New Year
Thanks
to
for
you
joining
all.
us and sending best wishes for a wonderful Christmas to you and your families. Good night.
Bye.